Thanks very much for joining us. Well, he's thrown his hat into the ring at last. Will anyone challenge him?
I think they will. In fact, I think this will be a very large primary field. There were 17 candidates in 2016, the last time around. And frankly, I think this will be very similar. The ironic part of that is a big primary field benefits candidates like Trump, who command the spotlight. And then once in a general election environment, he's the worst possible choice for Republicans to take back the White House. And so, Republicans may very well fall into that trap.
Right. Well, he's got in early, hasn't he? At least in terms of other potential rivals. Ron DeSantis of Florida, perhaps the most notable. Is he biding his time to get the timing right? Because, the Republicans did pretty poorly in many people's eyes in these midterms.
Yes, and Trump may have been a very big part of that. He is in many ways the only candidate Democrats know for sure they can beat. They wouldn't have as great of a chance against someone like Ron DeSantis. The trouble with the timeline we're on right now is we still have very limited information about who's running and where they stand. And so there is a sense in which DeSantis has not been tested on the national stage. He has not been asked very direct questions about what he thinks a national abortion policy should be, what his stance is on some of these other more controversial Republican positions. And so that will test him in a way he has not been before. But it certainly is impressive that in many of these head-to-head matchups, including in Florida, where the former president also lives, and in New Hampshire, DeSantis is either right there with Trump neck and neck, or he's pulled ahead.
But it's interesting what you say there, that you've got to win the PR vote across the nation, haven't you, if you want to emerge as top dog, if I can put it that way, to rival whoever the Democrat candidate might be. It looks like it's going to be Joe Biden. Does that mean that the likes of DeSantis, and indeed any other aspiring candidates, should get in as early as possible?
Well, I think that's a lesson Republicans need to learn from the midterms, is they seem to have forgotten, as they've refused to repudiate Trump, that some of these views are very alienating to moderate voters. And the key to a national election, or even a statewide election, as they learned in many of these Senate losses, is you must appeal to swing and independent voters. That's the whole story. They make up about 10% or less of the electorate, but they are the most important sliver if you want to win national office.
Well, it is a challenge and a half, whoever wants to take on Donald Trump, isn't it? Lauren, thank you very much indeed. It's going to be a fascinating run.